Picture this. You're just a kid, 7 years old, sitting in the front seat of your mum's car thinking about anything but what's about to happen next. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a crash flips your world upside down. Literally. Meet injured passenger X. A young girl who, through no fault of her own, found herself at the centre of a life-changing car accident. And this isn't just any story about a crash. It's a tale of resilience, the pursuit of justice, and a system stepping in to do what's right. Let's rewind to the day it all went wrong. It's the 3rd of January. Injured passenger X is in the car with at-fault driver Y, her mother, driving down Old Mandurah Road in Falcon, Western Australia. In a split second of negligence, at-fault driver Y crashes into a parked car. The collision is so severe that their vehicle flips over and lands on its side. Just imagine the chaos and fear in that moment. The impact left injured passenger X with devastating injuries. We're talking about multiple fractures to her skull, face, and nose. Serious injuries that required a craniotomy, a type of brain surgery, to repair a fracture and a torn dura. And these weren't just injuries that would heal over time. They left scars, both visible and invisible. Her face bore the brunt of the crash, resulting in permanent disfigurement and ongoing medical issues. But the physical scars were just the beginning. Fast forward several years, injured passenger X decides it's time to seek justice for what happened to her. But it wasn't a simple open and shut case. At-fault driver Y and their legal team argued that the injuries weren't all from the accident. They tried to pin some of it on pre-existing conditions and past medical history. It was a classic legal back and forth. Injured passenger X wasn't about to back down. She brought in a team of experts to build her case. Dr. Shelley Keane, a neuropsychologist, presented detailed assessments showing significant cognitive deficits, like issues with verbal memory, executive functioning, and concentration, all tied directly to the traumatic brain injury she suffered that day. These weren't just temporary issues, they were long-lasting, impacting her ability to work and live normally. Dr. Trevor Harris, a plastic surgeon, testified about the cosmetic impact of her injuries, noting that despite surgeries, injured passenger X would never fully regain her pre-accident appearance. And Dr. Mihail Antose, a psychiatrist, linked her psychological conditions like PTSD and anxiety directly back to the trauma of the accident. His evidence showed that her psychological struggles were exacerbated by the bullying and challenges she faced afterwards. The court listened carefully. They weighed all the medical evidence, the testimonies, and the arguments, and they weren't swayed by the defence's claims that other factors could have caused her issues. The judge found injured passenger X and her mother to be credible witnesses, acknowledging that while there were minor inconsistencies in their accounts, these were entirely understandable given the trauma and the years that had passed. The result? A massive win for injured passenger X. The court awarded her $945,212, and this wasn't some arbitrary number. The breakdown included $206,000 for pain and suffering, recognizing the profound psychological and emotional impact of the injuries. Another $307,924 was set aside for future loss of earning capacity, acknowledging that her cognitive deficits would limit her career options. And let's not forget the compensation for future surgeries, medical expenses, and the help she'd need for the rest of her life. But here's the real twist. This case wasn't just about getting compensation for injured passenger X. It set a precedent, a reminder that when it comes to personal injury claims, the courts are looking for solid evidence and credible testimonies. They're not here for the theatrics or to entertain far-fetched theories about pre-existing conditions. This case showed everyone watching that if you have a legitimate claim, with the right evidence and legal support, justice can be on your side. And this case? It sparked a wave of similar claims, with people finding the courage to stand up for themselves, knowing they could get the justice they deserved. So next time you hear about a big court payout, think of injured passenger X. This isn't just about the money, it's about standing up for what's right, proving your case, and making sure the truth prevails.